And so I have finished my 8 rows. Now I'm not counting the 4 rows that I have done here. I'm counting from the row where I have connected the top right here with the string. Okay, so the row under that, so that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now the next step is to make this into a yoke. Okay, we're gonna go straight into making a square out of this. Grab 4 or 5 stitch markers. I'm gonna have 5 just because I will be marking where my last stitch is going to be, just so it is easier for me to see where I have to finish the row. Now we're gonna have a look at this right here. So remember how many chains you have started with. So I have started with 71 chains and I have 71 stitches at the moment. Now you never count the chain 1. It doesn't count as a stitch. We're just lifting up the yarn a little bit higher to start. Okay, so we're gonna start right here with this number at the bottom. Now you have to look at how many chains you have, right? You look at your square, whichever number you had. I had 71, so the first number is 10 for me. So where I have finished, I am going to chain 1 and I'm gonna make 10 herringbone half double crochets. So into that same stitch underneath, this is 1, into the next one. This is 2, next 3, next 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So I have made 10 herringbone half double crochet. So have a look if you need. So there's slightly smaller number at the front right here. So I have 10. Next, you can see this little 1 right here. This is going to be a corner. This is where we increase our stitch count. Okay, so and we are going to have 4 of them, and that's how we will create the square. So into the next stitch, we're going to make 3 herringbone half double crochets. So 1, another 1, 2, and 3, all 3 in the same stitch. Now you're going to grab a marker and you're going to mark the second stitch from the hook. So the loop on the hook doesn't count. Stitch number 1 and stitch number 2. So right here. Next is this part. This is going to be our sleeves. So the next 13 stitches, I'm gonna make 1 herringbone half double crochet. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13 for me. Okay, so we made 1 sleeve. Then we have another corner, our second corner. So into the next stitch, we make 3 herringbone half double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Stitch marker, mark stitch number 2 from the hook. Stitch number 1 from the hook, stitch number 2. Then we are at the back of our pullover, so we make this number of half double crochets or herringbone half double crochets. Just to make it easier for me, I'll just call them a half double crochet. So I need to make 20. Starting from the next stitch, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20 for me. Okay, so we have made the back. Now this is our third corner. After that, into the next stitch, 3 half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Mark stitch number 2 from the hook, 1 and 2. Then it is the second sleeve, so it is 13 herringbone half double crochets for me. So I'm going to make that off the camera, and we will come back, do the last corner and finish it together. Okay, so I have done my 13, so this is my very last corner right now. So I'm going to make 3 half double crochets into the next stitch. Mark stitch number 2 from the hook. And to finish now, we should have this number of stitches left. So I should have 11 herringbone half double crochets left to finish. Starting from the next stitch, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. I have a little black here. So this is it. This is my first row of the yoke done. Now what we're going to do is we are going to connect the front, and we're going to move our yarn to the back. Okay, so we will be starting and finishing at the back, just so we don't have a seam running right in the very front. So you're gonna find the very first stitch, which is right here, and you're going to slip stitch in there. Slip stitch, chain 1, and cut your yarn. Leave a little bit longer tail, and just pull it out. Now at this moment, this is your face side of the cardigan. Okay, so where you can see the herringbone half double crochets with a little kind of knot in the beginning, this is your face side. If you look inside, it's very straight there. So this is the face side. Now we're going to move our starting point to the back. So this is obviously the front. We're going to turn it around, and this is our back. Now starting and finishing is going to change a little bit, because we're going to start turning around after each row. So to connect your yarn, you're going to make a slip knot. You're going to connect a little bit closer to this side. So I want to be a few stitches away, so let's say 2 stitches away from my stitch marker, just somewhere close to that. Okay, so this is the back. Now we are going to connect the yarn, we are going to chain 1, and we are going to mark that same stitch where the chain 1 is coming out of. So right kind of behind it on that side. Okay, after that we are going to turn our work, and we are going to start making herringbone half double crochets into the next stitch. So right there, next one, I'm gonna yarn over and make a herringbone half double crochet. Now the next stitch marker is our corner. I'm gonna take that out. I'm gonna make 3 half double crochets in there. So 1, 2, and 3. Mark second stitch from the hook. So this is stitch number 1, stitch number 2, mark that. Then you keep going, making 1 herringbone half double crochet into each stitch until you get to your next stitch marker. So keep going, I'll see you right here. Okay, so the next stitch has a stitch marker. I'm gonna take this out and make 3 herringbone half double crochet. So we keep extending our stitch count and it will become much more of a square very, very soon. So mark stitch number 2. And then again, we're gonna make 1 herringbone half double crochet into each stitch until we get to the next stitch marker. Now we are on the front part right now, and I just want to show you what we're going to do in the place where we have cut our yarn. Okay, so here I am, and this is the place where I have cut off my yarn. And if you can see, there is, so this is the knot, and there's a little space underneath it and 1 behind it. Now you need to make 1 herringbone half double crochet here or here, just 1. You need to pick one place where it's less noticeable. So I'm just gonna put this here, and I choose to do it exactly in the place where I had my stitch marker. So just right here. Then you skip that tiny little place under the or behind the knot, otherwise you will increase by 1 stitch. So skip that, go into the next stitch and keep going with your stitches until you get to your next corner. Now if you look closely right here, it looks nice and neat. You cannot even see that there was a joining in there before. So keep going, I'm gonna see you at the next stitch marker. And again, stitch marker out, 3 herringbone half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Mark stitch number 2, and then you keep going. Okay, so everything in between the stitch markers get 1 half double crochet, stitch markers get 3 double crochets, and then I'm gonna see you right here at the joining, and we will see how we join the rows now. So keep going, 3 herringbone half double crochets right here, mark stitch number 2, and keep going until you get